Hi, Doug Masnaghetti with another guitar lesson. This one is Led Zeppelin's Goin California. It was released on their untitled fourth album. That's the one with the old guy with the bundle of sticks on his back, and has the famous Stairway to Heaven on it. And it was released in 1971, and I didn't realize it, but one of the lyrics makes a reference. It's really a song about heartbreak and trying to find a girl that's so perfect she doesn't exist. And they make reference to Joni Mitchell, evidently in this song, because Robert Plant and Jimmy Page are both big fans. And that's sort of who they're hinting at when they're talking about finding a queen without a king. She plays guitar and cries and sings. Often, I guess, in live renditions, Robert Plant would say Joni or something to that effect after he sang that lyric. So anyway, that's just a bit of trivia. The lesson's organized as usual. This intro, I'll do a cover. You can skip straight to the lesson because it's right after the cover, if you don't want to listen to the whole cover. But I recommend listening to it to figure out whether it's a version you want to learn or not, because there are a number of good lessons on this song by other people. And it seems like everybody has a little bit of a different twist. So, listen to the cover, and if it doesn't grab you, move on and try somebody else. So, the tune is played in a drop D, so be sure to down tune your guitar. Your high E and your low E both go down to D. And without further ado, I guess we'll move on to the cover.
Spent my days with a woman unkind. She smoked my stuff and drank all my wine. In my mind, I'm gonna make a new start. Goin California with an aching in my heart. Someone told me there's a girl out there with love in her eyes and flowers in her hair. My chances on a big jet plane. Never let them tell you that all the same. Oh, sea was red and the sky was gray. Wondered how tomorrow could ever follow today. Mountains and the canyons start to tremble and shake. Children of the sun begin to awake. Seems that the wrath of the gods got a punch in the nose and it's starting to flow. I think I might be sinking. Throw me a line if I reach it in time. I'll meet you up there where the path runs straight and find a queen without a king. They say she plays guitar and cries and sings. Sight of white mare in the footsteps of dawn, trying to find a woman who's never been alone. Standing on a hill in mountain of dreams, telling myself it's not as hard as it seems.
Okay, so you just watched or skipped over a Goin California cover. The song is played in a drop D, so you want to take your high E and your low E and tune them down from E to D. Throughout the video, I basically assign, certain fingers of my hand to certain strings, and my thumb is assigned to the low 3 strings, and my index is assigned to the 3rd string, my middle finger is assigned to the 2nd string, and my ring finger is assigned to the 1st string. So that's always, when I'm telling you to pluck off strings, those are the fingers on my right hand that I'm using. So the song, I don't think this is the way they're actually playing it, but I like the way this sounds, so it's the way I play it. Basically, you just do this little roll around here. I use, for some reason, my middle finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, and that's the only string you're holding down. And you start by plucking the 6th string, then the 1st string, 4th string. Wait a minute, is that right? 2nd string. So yeah, that's right. Now, of course, interestingly, this is just the same note as your 1st string, which you've down tuned to a D, and the 2nd string, 3rd fret is a D also. But it's useful to, rather than just using one string, to use both of them, because I use the timing of when I'm hitting the 2nd string to transition to the little riff that he does up the top. So let me just play through it really slowly here, and then I'll come back and break it down. I had a little bit of bobbling in there, but basically came off. Again, I think I already explained this progression here. So it's 6th, 1st, 4th, and then 2nd. 6, 1st, 4, 2. 6, 1, 4, 2. And just roll through that as many times as you want. And when you are ready to go up to the riff, right when you hit that 2nd string, make your transition up, and go ahead and carry on with your right hand, hit the 6th while you're transitioning up, and the 1st, and then come into the riff. So just bar on the 7th fret, the top 3 strings, and you pluck the 2nd string, followed by plucking the 1st string. The 1st string is always going to be plucked in between all other string plucks. Okay, so it's just, then put your middle finger on the 8th fret of the 2nd string, and repeat, and then take it off, and then 3rd finger, ring finger on the what would be that? The 9th fret, and the 1st string again. Take it off and play 3rd string, 7th fret. Top one again. Put the ring finger back on the 3rd string, and then end on the 2nd string. Okay, so the verse starts with the 6th and the 1st string being covered on the 5th fret with your ring and middle fingers. Pluck them both, then hit the 2nd string, then hit the 4th string. Drop your index finger onto the 4th fret of the 1st string, and keep your middle finger on the 5th fret of the 6th, and pluck it, pluck the 6th, pluck the 2nd, pluck the 4th. So it's 1 and 6 together when we start, and you're covering the 5th fret of the 1st and the 6th string. Then bring your ring finger onto the second fret, second string, 5th fret. Pluck it and the 6th string together. Hit the 1st string, and then the 4th string. Then an open 1st string, a 6th string, 2nd string, 4th string. So that part of the progression is, whoops. Okay, so putting them together, run through that twice, so and then you move into this simple chord pattern. So your first finger's on the 5th fret of the 1st string, and your ring finger's on the 7th fret of the 2nd string, and you're just basically doing the same pattern that. So it's pluck the 1st and the 6th, then you hit the 2nd, and then you hit the 4th. And then you just do single finger plucking of the 1st, the 6th, the 2nd, the 4th. And at some point you pull your index finger off, so it sounds like this. Okay, and so the right hand is doing the same thing throughout that entire transition where you're pulling your index finger off. You're just hitting the same strings, same repetition. And you do this twice. So just quickly running through it one more time. By the way, on that part, I've lifted my ring finger off of the 2nd string. I'm not sure I said that earlier. So, right there, that's an open 2nd string. My ring finger is now off. So, now, you can just play through all 3 verses. Each verse has 3 stanzas, just using that progression I just showed you. But I like to mix in this other progression. Instead of doing every time, I like to do this. Okay, and that starts out with your middle finger on the 5th fret of the 2nd string, and you pluck it and the 6th string, and then you slide up to the 7th fret on the 2nd string, pluck the 4th string, and then bring your middle finger back down to the 5th fret of the 2nd string and pluck it. Now, I actually sort of like to start that up here and just slide it down. So it's okay. So you can either drag it down or just move it down and pluck it, and then you hit the 6th string, and then you hit the 2nd string again, and then you hit the 4th string. Drop it down to the 3rd fret on the 2nd string, and again you pluck them both. And let me make sure I got this right now. Yeah, so you pluck them both, and you hit the 4th string, you hit the 2nd string, and then you put your 1st finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, and you hit it and hammer onto the 3rd, and then hit the 2nd string with your middle finger covering the 3rd fret. So, sorry, you hammer onto the 4th fret, hammer on, so it's, let me just, okay, so I mixed that in once on each verse. The first 2 times I through the verse, I used that rather than this on the first 2 passes. Then I used the sliding bit on the 3rd stanza. But the last time through the verse, that's what I do with the first 2 times through the verse. The 3rd time through the verse, I put the sliding bit in the middle. So I do the first stanza with this, and then I do the 2nd stanza with this, and then I do the 3rd stanza with that. And then there's this little transitionary piece that you need to play, and that is, let me just play through it real slowly once. So, you start out with your index finger on the 3rd fret of the 1st string, your ring finger on the 5th fret of the 2nd string, and you pluck, you do the same. It's going to be the same little progression that we've always been doing. So pluck the 1st and the 6th, and then the 2nd, and then the 4th. And then you just do that. So you, again, you start it by plucking both, but after you've done that, everything is single note, right? So 1 and 6, 2, 4, 1, 6, 2, 4, and then drop down and put your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 1st string and the ring finger on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. You want to do that because you're going to do a pull-off, and put your index finger on the 2nd fret of the 5th string. You do a pull-off, and then you hit the 4th string, then hit the 1st string again, then hit the 5th string, then hit the 2nd string, and when you hit that 2nd string, you've taken your ring finger and placed it on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, and then the 4th string. So it's, you could hit the 3rd string if you want, it sounds fine. And then you place your index finger on the 2nd fret of the 1st string, your middle finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, and you hit those 2 strings and the 6th string together. And then you put your pinky on the 4th fret of the 1st string, and you hit the 2nd and the 1st string along with the 4th string. So it's, and then you hit the 6th string, and then 1 and 2 again. And then the 4th string. Then hit the, then keep your middle finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string and hit it and the 6th string together. So hang on a second, I'm going to have to play to remember. So that was incorrect. So right after you do this thing where you're hitting 3 strings at one time, and then the 6th, hit those again, and then put your index finger on the 2nd fret of the 2nd string and hit it and slide up to the 3rd fret, and then the 1st string, 5th fret, 1st string, 4th fret. So and I missed a note there. So 6 and the 2nd string covering the 2nd fret on the 2nd, and slide up, and then you hit the 4th string, and then you hit the 1st string covering the 5th fret, hit the then I think you hit that. Hang on. Yes. So yes, you hit the 6th string and then you hit the 4th fret on the 1st string. So you 2 and 6, and you're covering the 2nd fret on the 2nd string, 2 and 6, slide up, hit the 4th string, and then, which is open, and then ring finger on the 5th fret, 1st string, hit it, then hit the 6th string, and then hit the 4th fret on the 1st string. Okay, so the whole thing together sounds like this. I'll try to play through it slowly here. And you do it twice. And you want to end up with your middle finger holding that 4th fret down on the 1st string, because you'll slide up into a D configuration on the 14th fret. So you've got the 1st string and the 3rd string covered on the 14th fret, and the 2nd string is covered on the 15th fret, in just a D configuration. You hit 1, 3, 2, 1. I'm sorry, 6, 1, 3, 2, 1, 6, 3, 2, 1, 6, 3, 2, 1, and then you just drop right back down into the verse again. And I think that's the whole song. So again, you want to end up. Let me just play this through again and include the last little bit there. That wasn't quite right. I just realized that I didn't cover one important piece, and that's when he goes into "Seems that the wrath of the gods took a punch in the nose." And what he does there, so it's right after you've either done this or this, depending on how you're working the song, and you come up into a, I don't know what this is, some kind of a D chord configuration. Not D, it's a D, it's not a D minor either. Anyway, you're up on the the 6th fret with your index finger, and you're covering the 7th fret on the 2nd string. So 6th fret, 2nd string, and then you're covering the 7th fret on the 3rd and the 1st strings. And you just do the same pattern. So pluck 1 and 6, hit 2, and then 4. 1, 6, 2, 4, 1, 6, 2, 4. Seems that the wrath of the gods got a punch in the nose, and it's starting to flow, and I think I might be. Go down to an A. So you're covering the 2nd fret on the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd string. And give it a flick. There's a name for this, I don't know what it is, but... And then... It's the same pattern, except you're not hitting the 6th string, you're hitting the 5th string instead of the 6th string, and you don't start with a dual pluck, so it's 5, 1. Wait, sorry. So 4, 2, 5, 1, 4, 2, 5, 1, 1, 4, 2, 5, 1. 4, 2, 5, 1, 4, 2, 5, 1. And I'm in an A configuration with my left hand. So, and then he do the strum again in the middle. So it's seems that the wrath of the gods got a punch on the nose, and it's starting to flow. I think it might be sinking. Do that again, and then back up to this funny chord up here. And then I go straight into this thing, which you already know how to play, and then back into the beginning of the verse. And this is, so you would do this Wrath of the Gods thing after the 2nd verse, between the 2nd and the 3rd verses. And I think that's it. Hopefully this came off okay and was not too confusing, and hopefully it helped.